Some lessons don't scream, they whisper. They show up as burnout, resentment, quiet sadness. They hide behind your constant people pleasing, your exhaustion, your fake smile. And no one teaches you how to protect your energy, peace, and how to stop abandoning yourself just to be liked. But you can't afford to learn these lessons too late because they shape everything: your relationships, your self worth, your entire life. This is part 2. 8 lessons that don't sound loud, but once you hear them, you'll never live the same again. Lesson 1: you're not broken, you're becoming. It's easy to feel like you're falling short. You see others moving faster, winning bigger, doing more, and you start asking the wrong questions. Why am I so far behind? What's wrong with me? But here's what you need to hear: you're not broken, you're building, you're figuring it out, piece by piece, day by day. You're not late, you're on your own timeline. Stop burning your energy on guilt and comparison. You're not meant to sprint every season. Sometimes the bravest thing you can say is, I'm becoming, and that's enough for today. The biggest mistake? Wasting your limited energy fighting yourself. Use it instead to take one small step forward. No shame, no pressure, just progress. Because you're not stuck. You're just in the middle of something real. Lesson 2. Your self-respect defines what you tolerate. People don't just treat you a certain way. You teach them how by what you allow, excuse, or stay silent about. What you tolerate becomes your standard, and your standard reflects your self-respect. The more you avoid conflict to keep the peace, the more inner war you create. Self-respect isn't a quote. It's a daily decision, a boundary, a mirror, and you'll feel when it's slipping. You over-explain what needs no explanation. You call disrespect not a big deal. You stay, hoping things will magically change. So start now. Learn the quiet, powerful skill of saying, thanks, but this isn't for me. Or, that doesn't work for me. Yes, it feels hard the first few times, but by the 5th time, it feels like freedom. And it might just change the direction of your life, because you don't get the life you want. You get what you're willing to stop settling for. If you needed a sign to raise your standard, let this be the one you wish you heard sooner. Lesson 3. Kindness without boundaries leads to burnout. You want to be a good person, so you say yes. You help. You stay late. You give more. You support, listen, absorb. Even when you're running on empty. And at first it feels right. You're being kind, needed, useful. But over time, something shifts. You start feeling tired all the time, resentful, drained. Here's the lesson most people learn too late. Kindness without boundaries isn't kindness. It's self-abandonment. You can be generous and still say no. You can be loving and still choose distance. You can care deeply and still choose yourself. If your kindness costs you your health, your peace, your self-worth, it's not sustainable. It's sacrifice disguised as goodness. You don't owe everyone access to your energy. Protecting it isn't selfish, it's smart. So set the boundary. Say no. Choose rest. Because if you keep pouring from an empty cup, eventually you'll have nothing left. Not even for yourself. Lesson 4. Most people care about you only when they benefit. It's a tough pill to swallow, but many people love the way you make them feel, not who you actually are. They like the version of you that says yes, that gives, helps, listens, supports. But what happens when you need something? When you stop performing, when you say no? Silence, distance, discomfort. That's when you learn. Some people were never with you. They were with the version of you that served them. And no, it doesn't make them evil. It just means you need to stop confusing proximity with loyalty. Someone texting you doesn't mean they care. Someone showing up when it's convenient isn't the same as support. Attention is not affection, and energy isn't love, if it only flows one way. You deserve relationships built on mutuality, on truth, on presence, not transactions dressed up as connection. So take inventory. Not everyone in your circle is in your corner. And cutting ties with the wrong people, that's how you make space for the right ones. Lesson 5, you don't need everyone to understand, just a few who truly see you. You spend years trying to explain yourself, trying to make people get you, convincing them you're not too much, that your dreams aren't crazy, that your feelings are valid. But here's the truth. Most people won't understand you, and that's okay. They weren't meant to. You're not here to be universally liked. You're here to live in alignment with who you really are, and that doesn't require a majority vote. The world is full of noise, opinions, expectations, projections, but you don't need a crowd. You just need a few people who truly see you and still stay. The ones who don't flinch at your intensity, who don't shrink from your truth, who feel like home, not an audience. Stop breaking yourself into smaller pieces so others can digest you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them talk. You've got better things to do, like build the life you actually want. Lesson 6. Pain isn't the enemy. Avoiding it is. Nobody likes pain. We avoid it. We scroll, binge, drink, distract, stay busy. Anything not to feel. Because somewhere along the way we learned pain is bad, pain is failure, pain is weakness. But here's the truth. Pain isn't the enemy. Avoiding it is. Pain is information. It tells you what matters, where you need to heal. What you're still carrying, that was never yours. And when you ignore it, it doesn't go away. It goes deeper, buried under fake smiles, overworking, numbing, until one day it explodes. You want to grow? Sit with it. Let it speak. Let it shake you. Let it clean out what needs to leave. The most powerful people you know, they didn't avoid pain. They walked through it, with eyes open, heart broken, and spine straight. And when they came out on the other side, they were no longer afraid of life. Lesson 7, healing isn't pretty. It's messy, painful, and worth it. You think healing looks like yoga, green smoothies, and calm music. You imagine soft mornings and peaceful journaling, but real healing? It's raw. Ugly cry on the bathroom floor kind of raw. Because healing isn't just feeling better. It's feeling everything you've been avoiding. The grief, the shame, the anger, the childhood wounds, the heartbreaks you never processed, the parts of you that were silenced for years. And when you open that door, it gets messy. You lose people. You outgrow habits. You question everything. But here's what no one tells you. The chaos isn't a breakdown, and it's a rebuild. You're shedding versions of yourself that were never real. And that hurts. But what's on the other side? Peace. Real peace. The kind that doesn't depend on external validation or control. Healing doesn't always look good, but it feels true. And it leads you back to something you thought you lost forever. Yourself. Lesson 8. The way you talk to yourself becomes your life story. There's a voice inside your head. It narrates everything you do. And for most people, that voice is brutal. It says, "You're not good enough. You always mess things up. Why even try?" And the more it repeats, the more you believe it. Not because it's true, but because it's familiar. Here's the truth. Your inner voice becomes your identity. And your identity shapes your actions. Your actions shape your life. So if your self-talk is cruel, your life becomes a cage. Not because of reality, but because of the story you're telling yourself. But here's the beautiful part. You can rewrite the story. That voice, it can learn a new language, one of kindness, patience, strength, truth. Talk to yourself like someone you love because you are. And every time you choose compassion over criticism, you take back the pen. This is your story. Make it one you'd be proud to live in. The truth hurts, but ignoring it hurts more. If any of these lessons hit you, don't just nod, apply them. You've still got time. So, reclaim your energy, raise your standard, and become the person your future self will thank you for. This was part 2. Part 3 is where everything shifts. See you there.